Welcome in Aggie Nation. Adam Young with you. Brandon Barnes is with us here today. Brand new Aggie men's basketball assistant coach. He comes over from CSU Bakersfield. Coach, welcome to Aggie Nation. What have these first couple of months been like for you?
I'm happy to be here. I mean, Las Cruces is a great place. I've been here a few times playing and competing and coaching, and so I had a lot of battles with New Mexico State. So Las Cruces is not much different from Bakersfield. There's a lot of good people, a lot of good food. It's been a really pretty easy adjustment for me.
Let's start with Coach Hooten. How excited are you to work for Coach? I know you've known him for a while, competed against him, and now you get a chance to coach under.
Yeah, no, he's an unbelievable coach, one of the best in the business, and so having the opportunity to learn from him, especially being coming right after working with my dad, I think it's an unbelievable opportunity, and I'm very fortunate to be here and work for hhim.
We'll talk about the CSUB and New Mexico State battles, and you've been in this building before as a player and as a coach. So what attracts you the most about this place and your experiences here?
Yeah, like I said, it's a special place. One thing I remember vividly is, competing and having the people behind us on our bench, and they're rowdy, you know what I mean? So, you definitely have to bring your A game when you're playing in the Pan Am, and it's one of those places that just has an electric crowd. I think every one of the games that we played in, especially from the start that we got to Bakersfield, was always down to like the last 4 minutes of the game. They were all tough games, and, they had a really, really good team. When I was playing, with Daniel Mullins and, Ian Baker and DK Eldridge, Sam Boular, they were really good in the 5-way. They were really good, really big, and Mensa did a really great job here. They were the team that we were trying to beat every year.
Clearly, you have knowledge of this place, and when you transition to a new job, it can be a little difficult at times. Having knowledge of this place and the history of this building, does that help the transition a little bit for you?
Absolutely. When Coach and I were talking during the interview process, I told him I understand the expectation of this place. I kind of saw it at the peak. I guess in the 2000s peak, obviously it has a lot of tradition and history. That obviously it's just big time. You always want to be a part of a program that is used to winning. They expect to win and have expectations to win. And so when you're part of it, it's really easy to transition into that.
There's a lot of connections here. You coached and recruited Jamel Jones when you were with the Roadrunners, and of course Jamel had a great season here last year. Because of that connection, did you follow this program really close a year ago?
Absolutely. I mean, we had a couple guys in our league that came from Bakersfield that played in the CUSA. And that was, Kasim Watson. There was a UTEP. You had Jamel Jones and Corey Stevenson as well. So I definitely followed New Mexico State a lot. I actually was excited that he had the opportunity to get here and play here because I know what this place is. You know what I mean? So I know he enjoyed himself this year. Yeah, he gave you guys 19 a game just like he gave us. So it worked for everybody.
You and I were talking off the air about Jamel when you were recruiting Jamel to CSU Bakersfield in his JUCO days, and you kind of saw it early that he could be a really high-level talent.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, he's a special scorer. So I talked to his JUCO coach, and he and our JUCO coach are pretty close. He coached at Chicago State when I was playing, who also was in the WAC. He's like, man, I got a kid for you. And he's like, man, this specific game I want you to watch. It was them against Henry Ford. So he told me a story. He said, Jamel's going to go off from like 15 straight. He's like, let me tell you the backstory. And I said, okay. He said, well, one of the guys started jawing with him and said, you're going to need to be Superman tonight. And he said he went for 15 straight. And then Jamel looked at him and said, how's that for Superman? So when I watched that game, I watched it like a fan, honestly. Like he was killing him. I think he had like 40 in the game. And just the way he scored, it reminded you of an old school player. He has a really elite mid-range game. And that's something that we valued in our program as far as making the mid-range. He just scored it better than anybody I had seen in a really long time. And so, after that film, I got out there to watch him, got out there to get in front of him. If you know Jamel, you got to get in front of him and really try to build a relationship with him. And that's what I tried to do, during the recruiting process. And we were fortunate enough to get him.
You played for your dad. You coached with your dad, legendary collegiate head coach for a long time. Did you always know you would go into this?
No. I actually didn't want to do it when I was, when I went to Lipscomb. I was 17 years old, and I was starting my coaching to make a little bit of extra money. And I enjoyed it, you know what I mean? Just kind of teaching kids, how to play and sharing what I knew and what I've learned over my life and career with them. And then I just fell in love with it, and I knew that's what I wanted to do at 17 years old, but it didn't come right away.
I hear a lot of people reference coach's kid when they're watching somebody play. They just know what to do. Did you feel like you were one of those guys because you grew up watching film sometimes instead of cartoon?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, people probably don't even remember this. Like the games, SEC games used to be on Jefferson Pop. So every Friday and Saturday, I used to watch Jefferson Powell and watch the games early. And that's what I watched. I watched, a lot of basketball games, a lot of ESPN Classic. They used to be a big thing back when I was growing up. So I wasn't really a cartoon guy. I always watch games and I had somebody ask questions. Well, what would you do in this situation? And, well, what are they doing here? You know, just to kind of exploration to learn about the game. So, you know, I've been fortunate to be around a great basketball mind, and I'm just excited that I was able to start my career with him.
Yeah.
And spend all that time with him that I did.
If you had to pinpoint 2 or 3 things that he taught you about recruiting or relationships or coaching, what would they be?
I mean, you got to recruit toughness. You know what I mean? I think that's something that he valued in his career and was really successful with it. You got to recruit good people. You definitely got to do that. And then you have to build your relationships around the people, around the person first. So we always wanted to, you know, and I'll take that in my career. We always want to value the kid as the person first because they're people before they're basketball players. And we want to really develop them as people. And we think that the basketball piece will take care of itself. And that's something that's very valuable to me. It's going to be valuable in my career.
Aggie legend Rob Evans is your godfather. What have those conversations been like, Coach, the last couple of weeks or couple of months since you got this job?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, he's really excited for me to be over here. This is like surreal. Every time I go in the Pan Am, I see his face. You know what I mean? And so growing up, you know, being around him and how much success they had at Ole Miss, like kind of see the origin and, if you will, the genesis of his career, like being here and me having the opportunity to be here as well. It's surreal. I'm very excited and definitely want to, you know, have my own legacy here as well.
I know recruiting's changed dramatically with the NIL, the transfer portal, everything that's going on right now. But when you look at this place, I always tell the players, you don't quite know what you're going to walk into until you actually experience it. And you've experienced it when there's 5,000 plus in this building. Does that help a lot when you're recruiting future players for the Aggies right now?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think this is one of the best mid-major jobs in the country. You know what I mean? I think that we can compete toe-to-toe with high major programs. I think that we can get elite level talent here because of what we have and who comes to support the team. You know, it has, like I keep saying, it has a bunch of history. I'm going back and learning more of the history. Like when they beat UNLV, they were number 11 in the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like understanding that type of things and seeing if we can try to figure out how to get back to that. You know what I mean? Like especially getting back to this LA tournament. But, you know, like it's an unbelievable place, you know.
I'm curious, how much has recruiting changed for you personally with NIL in the portal?
It doesn't really change much for me, honestly. I think the relationship still matters. I really do. I think that you have to build a relationship with the kids. It's a little bit harder now because you have agents in the deal and, you know, money's involved and things like that. I mean, I'm definitely a firm believer of kids getting paid, but you know what I mean? It does change it a little bit. I think kids make more decisions based on the money aspect than they do of like a place like here. You know what I mean? Like they'll take the money before coming to a place where people are going to value you. People are going to, you know, cheer for you. You're going to be kind of like a mini celebrity in the city. So, you know, I think that's more valuable than money. That's my personal opinion.
Before we talk about 2016, because I do want to finish with that, how excited are you to get these players on campus? I know the freshmen come in today. You have the new guys coming in here soon as well. How excited are you to watch this all come together?
I'm really excited. You know, like being at Bakersfield for a long time, you always dream of kind of being at a program like this who has, you know, resources. They have, you know, the fan support. They have history and tradition. And that's what we were trying to build at Bakersfield. But being in a place that it actually has that here, I'm really excited. You know what I mean? I think that we're going to have a good team. You know, I think that we're going to get out here and really work with those guys, the guys that I work with day in and day out. Man, they're just as hungry as I am too. So it's a great work environment, a great place to be and work.
2016 WAC tournament championship game. Aggie fans know it too well. Dedrick Basil, game winner over future NBA star Pascal Siakam. You have the insight into the play, Dedrick hanging on to the basketball, everything. Just kind of take us through that and navigate us through that final.
Yeah, so we ran the play, and I wasn't on staff, but I know exactly the play because my dad ran it forever. It was called Red Double. And so basically what we have is a double drag ball screen that leads into a double stagger. And I mean, if you look at the clip again, like Jalen Arrington is wide open.
Yep.
I joke with him all the time, like, man, you was wide open. But before they broke the huddle, my dad goes to Dedrick, say, man, keep the ball. I want you to shoot the shot. And so Dedrick kind of walked off and, you know, whatever. He said, well, Dedrick, do you hear me? Like, I need you to shoot the basketball, and the rest is history. You know what I mean? So the dog pile, and I'm sure New Mexico State was very upset, but it was a program-changing chapter for us.
The fact that he made that shot over the outstretch right on the Pascal Siakam, I think makes the shot even more.
Yeah, no question. I mean, we had a picture of it in our locker room that hung up in the locker
I would too.
And so it was something that we were reminded of every day, and definitely gave us motivation to try to get back there while I was there. But like I said, I'm excited to be here and try to go to the NCAA tournament with the Aggies.
Coach, thanks so much. Excited to have you here.
Excited to be here.
Brandon Barnes with us, new Aggie men's basketball assistant coach.